2022. Back in acciones.
Hey.
I don't remember the last time we did a podcast. Started it during COVID, 2020. Really busy 2021. Not that that's, an excuse, but we're going to do some shorter clips, just some topics. We'll have guests on, but want to get back into speaking into the mic, sharing some knowledge. Hopefully someone's learning. We're always wanting to learn ourselves, so I want to bring different business owners in, spread, knowledge of their different businesses in the local area. So if you have any interest, definitely let us know. We'd love to come on and just chat, right? It's all good. It's all fun. All love. So today we wanted just to jump in and talk about teams, employees, bosses. We're always looking for solid talent, regardless if we're hiring or not at Melman Law Group. If you find somebody who has the go-getter mentality, you want to be around them for 40, 50 hours a week, whatever it is, always looking for that. And we also see the other side of what we don't want, right?
Yeah, we want to make sure that we have the right team here that can motivate each other. Also, people that are self-starters, it's very important, I think. We anywhere we go, customer service is very important. I think our business stands apart from a lot of different businesses in our everyday roles at the firm with our level of service we give to our clients. And in order to give that level of service, I think the team has to be in sync and they have to have the right mindset together. And it's tough getting a bunch of different people together with kind of the right mindset or even shifting them to have the right mindset. But it's part of our jobs as leaders to find the right team and nurture them. You don't just stop nurturing a relationship after somebody's been there for 2 weeks and they're trained. You have to, manage, understand them, learn about them, and adjust to kind of their learning style as well, which is what I enjoy doing.
It's the same as any relationship. When you get married, all the flowers stop, the date nights stop, and then you wonder why, you're getting distant. Same relationship with you find a new referral source and, they're sending you business and then you just kind of turn the faucet off on them to not show any appreciation that you still care about the relationship and you're really appreciative. People don't really remember that. They get comfortable and cozy, and we talk about that even with team members.
Yeah, I think getting comfortable is, nothing wrong with enjoying your small wins and, patting yourself on the back when needed. But when you get too comfortable, I think, your competition or whatever you want to call it, if they're hungry and they're going to keep pushing forward and forward, when you get to a level of too much comfort, I think is where it gets dangerous. You start losing touch with reality and what's happening around you. And eventually you're only going to go downhill, whether it's, in terms of business, revenue. You might see referral sources dropping off after a while, if you're not maintaining those relationships. And I'm really big on bringing in the right people. And this is the thing, you might have somebody that's been somewhere for a couple of years and it didn't work out for them. And just because it doesn't work out somewhere else doesn't mean it's not going to work out here. Your environment is everything. You look at different kind of plants and seeds you might grow in different kind of soil. It might grow in a certain area, but it might not grow in that area. And I think that can translate to humans as well and people. You might have a rock star that doesn't have the opportunity to develop their skills, the right environment, and they're just going to coast in that environment. And it's unfortunate because they're just kind of constrained into the shell based on their environment. You take them out of that environment, now all of a sudden, they're more vocal. They're giving you their opinions, ideas, their actions are pretty aggressive. They're communicating with the team. I think your environment is everything. And
what do you look for in, just to jump in, because we were talking about people with the right mindset, or in the right mindset may be different from different businesses, but for Melman Law Group and the firm and the business that, we're all running and a part of, what are those 3 to 5 things that you want an employee, a team member, to have, coming in, right?
Yeah,
Personally.
I think one of the biggest things we look at, even in an interview, is energy. Energy. How is your energy overall? But how do you react in a difficult situation too? Do you shut down, Or are you the kind of person to, hey guys, let's huddle up, let's get it done, let's get it handled? Because every day in business is not perfect. A lot of business owners or managers or people that are watching this are going to see that every day is not perfect, and most days are not perfect. Most days can be 95% good, and then you have a hiccup. My question is, how does your team handle the hiccups? Do they shut down, or are you the kind of person to then look up to the manager or somebody in a management position and ask questions on what to do? Another thing is, if you're going to ask me questions or ask my team questions, I want substance behind that question. I want your own self-thought, maybe one or two answers that you can bring to the table with that question. If you're just going to ask a question with no thought process of your own involved in that, question, or, hey, how do we do this? I think we could do this and this. But if you're just stopping with how we can do this, it's deadly.
Whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So one, positive energy from the moment the door opens at your place of work. You have a smile. Are you positive? Because that will spread good or bad, right? Positive energy. Two, being a problem solver or a thinker, right? Don't just present the problem, but offer a solution. Even if it's totally wrong, at least you're trying, right? You got to show your superiors that you're at least trying, right? That you're not just, the doer. There are different jobs where it's like, hey, do this, do that. You don't have to think, right? But most positions, you just create more value, for yourself to grow within the company if you are thinking and, initiating kind of a solution as opposed to just, presenting a bunch of problems with no answers.
Yeah, you present problems with no answers. It just creates a headache for myself and some of the team members. But you also have to ask yourself as a business owner, are you creating an environment where it makes sense for that kind of critical thinking? Now, if you're underpaying substantially or it's a very verbally abusive environment, et cetera, people are scared to give their opinions because there's so much yelling going on and negative energy, you have to check yourself too. You can't expect everything out of your team without also nurturing that team and giving them opportunities to grow, whether it's leadership skills, financial growth, any level of that. Mm-hmm. You can't just expect it to be a one-sided scenario. Like, I want you to do this, but I'm just going to sit in my office all day and just do one thing and not get involved when the things get rough, or hide or show my face, at a minimal amount of time. Mm-hmm. It goes both ways, especially from our end. I guess they called 2021 the year of the Great Resignation or something. Mm-hmm. That's a two-sided scenario. It's not just people are resigning. Why are they resigning? And things like that. You have to ask yourself these questions. You can't just expect out of people without pouring in your energy back and giving them an environment where they can grow in.
Mm-hmm. Go back to, so we have 1, solid energy, 2, being a problem solver, not backing away from obstacles, 3, being, not being afraid to speak up, right? And I would say even a number 4, being just working hard, showing up on time and working hard and getting the job done. The less stress that an employee or team member can create for their boss, the more valuable they are, right? I think Mark Cuban said that. I don't know where it was or where I heard it, but he's like, if you create less of a headache for your employer, they'll never let you go because you're constantly just reducing their stress, right? So if you're creating more problems, like, oh, I want to switch this, or I want different hours, or I want more money, or I want to, you're doing something outside of the comfort of the team and the boss. You're only just digging yourself deeper. Stop creating problems for your employer.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I think if our team or your team takes care of the clients, your focus should be taking care of your team. Mm-hmm. And if your team takes care of the clients at a great level, your job is to take care of your team. As an employer or a leader or manager position. And you have to see that. You have to see different shifts. You have to recognize patterns. You also have to recognize when there's an amazing A player, but for a few weeks something is going on. And it's okay to talk to them and see, we're human beings. Sometimes we forget that, outside of work, we have different things we manage as well, whether it's family, friends, stress, who knows what it is, It's hard to have that amazing personality every day. And especially when you start seeing some of your strong team members getting down about things, it might have nothing to do with work. It's okay to talk to them, and the more you take off of our plate, the more we can give to your plate. Mm-hmm. If we're distracted putting random things together that make no sense or shifting here and there, it's only going to hurt you, I think, in the end, if you have the right leadership behind the operation, because then that focus is not going to be back on the team. It's going to be back on these little tasks. Big thing I also look for is the mindset with no excuses. You make a mistake, man up and own it. You want to give us that excuse bullshit, it's not going to work. It worked maybe the first couple of years in the business. And as we grow, we as business owners also shift. You don't have the same mindset with one employee versus 20 employees or 15 or 30 or 40 or 50. You can't grow with the same mindset of managing one than managing 50. So, at some point, the excuse world, the excuse game, I think it's very, I think it's disgusting in my honest opinion. My 2 children, I'm very big on telling them when they mess up or something and they're going to give me excuses. I think excuses come out of fear. And if you grow in an environment that fear won't survive and just good openness will thrive, I think the excuses will come down too. Because, you don't make a mistake because of this, and I made a mistake because I made a mistake because I made a mistake. And I'm going to learn from this mistake. And I'm going to make it better next time.
Make changes, not excuses, right? It's kind of the saying, make changes, not excuses. And it even happens just yesterday at lunch. Oh, I just got sat, four tables sat, which is why I couldn't, bring over a refill or whatever the case was. It only makes you kind of look worse when you're making excuses.
What else did he say?
It doesn't change anything. He said he would
promise us he'll come back.
I promise, I'll be back with the refill. Like he was, just scrambling.
Yeah.
And nobody has, I don't know. Maybe some people have I have sympathy for someone who's busy, but I don't have sympathy for the excuse. I'd rather someone just own that, they're behind, they're busy, and they'll get back to you as soon as you possibly can.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say hopefully that person is reasonable.
Correct. And it's funny because as we walk out of that restaurant, the hostess is on her phone, texting, looking down. Not a goodbye, not a have a good day, not a, hope to see you guys again soon,
Mm-hmm.
not let me help the server who's scrambling. I'm going to be in my phone texting while this person's scrambling, ruining a relationship that can continue more business, bringing in more business for that restaurant.
Sadly, those people at the hostess stand or host stand, whatever, a lot of we're always looking at people that if they have a good attitude or this or that or the other, you don't know what opportunity could be presented. So your head's buried in your phone. Oh, my job sucks. Well, you don't know who walks in the door that could present an opportunity. So you always have to really, be ready.
Yeah.
As if you were working for your dream job, right? You should carry that mentality in any job that you have. So we have basically, number one was energy, 2 being a problem solver, 3 kind of goes along with that, not backing down when the obstacles come, right? So presenting solutions with those, problems that you're trying to solve. Number 4 was losing track here.
I think 5 was no excuses.
5 was no excuses. Right. 4 was work hard, right?
Work hard.
Show up on time and work hard. That's not, if if your role is defined clearly and you know what you have to do, just do it, not carrying stuff over into, you're 2 days behind. So, you get busy and all of a sudden now you're 3 days behind because of all the stuff that just came in.
Right.
Staying on top of that. And then, number 5, no excuses. Some of these things don't require a ton of, intelligence, right? You don't have to be super smart to not have an excuse. Just don't say anything. Just say you made a mistake. Showing up on time, putting in the effort, having a good attitude. All of these things don't require a college degree.
They don't require that. They don't require 20 years of work experience. They require heart and
common sense.
And just maybe getting out of your comfort zone. I think that's big too. People are so used to being in their comfort zone and on cruise control. It's stepping up and seeing the difference. And don't look for a difference after one day. Try it for 30 days, 45 days. We're not asking, for your employer to recognize a change after 3 years. But, habits are, we start picking up on these habits. After a day or two, we might not see it. But after a couple weeks, a month, we're like, wow, what's going on here, And we're always looking for talent. A lot of our colleagues, I talk to them a lot, and they say anywhere they go, if it's the right person, that they interact with in that scenario, if they're not hiring, they're going to find a spot. Because, it's tough to find really good team members. and when they come across, you want to make sure you can get them. You know,
Sure.
So
And this is the other side of the coin is you're always like the employer is looking for you to be 150%, and then they give you 75% in return. And you just have to find and be all of those 5 things, even if your employer doesn't appreciate it, because you'll find one eventually, if you keep looking, that will reciprocate. And that's what, Marina and David are great with Melman Law Group is, it's a give and take. It's not all one-sided. It's a really good mix of both.
I think I agree with that, Zach. Figured the first video, 2022. Some people might be starting a new job. Some people might be hungry to start the year off on a right note. Whether you're an employer or you work for somebody, it doesn't matter. It's just having the right mindset. And I figured this was a good video to kind of share going back into these podcasts and videos that we're pumped for this year. You're going to be seeing a lot more of us.
Yeah. If you want to come on, we're going to have a lot of topics, shorter videos, but we'll have guests on. And if you know anybody that's hungry and wants to crush it, send them our way.
Yeah. Glad to talk to them. Have a good day, guys.
Peace.